Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. It's yours truly, Jimmy Williams, back again with another great and informative video. This is a special video. This is for my students only who are taking my Millionaire Master course. However, what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to take a certain snippet, a certain amount of this, and post it everywhere on all my social media platforms because I want the people that do not know about this course, the Millionaire Master course, how important it is, how profitable it'll be for them. And, some people don't really get it, how important it is to get the right information to transform their lives and their economic situation. It takes time, okay? And the topic I'm going to be talking about tonight is the power of mind transformation. You guys hear me preach it, teach it, talk about it all the time. Change your mind, you're going to work your behind. You cannot have what you want until your mind is able to conceive it and believe it, and achieve it. And you can't move ahead of, you can't grow, you can't have more than your ability to grow to receive those things. So, but tonight I want you to stop what you're doing. Again, I'm going to post this everywhere, part of it, because I think it's so powerful and people don't really get the power of what can happen when you transform the mind. Okay, not just waking up one day with an epiphany or you just pray your way through it. And I'm a man of prayer, I'm a spiritual man, but I understand the principles of wisdom and understanding what it takes to really transform your thinking. So again, students, congratulations to making it as far as video 11. After this, we got one more big video and the series and training is over. And I'm proud to announce this training and video series is in 70 countries, okay, worldwide. I joined forces with some other companies and we're going to bring it all over the place. But I think tonight I'm really going to shake you up because I'm going to tell you some things you probably didn't know about how this powerful piece of muscle here works and how to transform it truly, what really goes into that, okay? So let me just give you a couple of important facts. I did some research on this, on the brain and the subconscious mind, the part of the mind that actually, that we don't think is really awake, but it's always there. It's just dormant. It's always there with us, even when we're asleep. It's just there. It's the part of us that is really not conscious. It's subconscious. The conscious mind makes readily decisions to do things, but the conscious mind is where all of your habits are formed. And I'm going to give you some interesting facts about this topic of the subconscious mind. It's going to blow your mind. And if you can receive what I'm saying tonight, you can walk away with this and understand what it's going to take to get you from where you are right now to where you want to be. If you're an entrepreneur, business person, pastor, okay, business professional, nurse, construction worker, paralegal, athlete, singer, movie star, stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, okay, social worker, does not matter. You need to work on transforming your thinking to get the best out of life. And I think all of you can participate and be a part of this and learn from this, all right? I'm going to give you a fun fact before we get started here, and then I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to give you some basic steps to how you can get on this journey of transforming your mindset, okay? Go with me, guys. Go with me here, okay? Okay, let me just take a look at this one thing. One of the things I want to tell you about the mind is, listen to this. Your subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of your daily habits, thoughts, and fears. 95%, not your conscious mind. The part of you that lays dormant, that you think's asleep. That's why words have sound to them. Words have power. When people speak them to you or when you speak them to yourself, they go down into the subconscious mind, okay? 95%, I didn't say 50%, I didn't say 75%, 95%, okay? Now, here's another fun fact for you. And I did some studying. This is not me just making this stuff up, so don't come back at me, guys, and be mad at me. And for my students, I want you to get this because without facts and information and strategy, nothing happens. Nothing just happens, okay? The subconscious mind typically requires listen to this, between 22 and 66 days to be reprogrammed. So that's a little over half a month, all the way up until a little over 2 months to be reprogrammed. If you're over the age of 31, listen to this, it's going to take twice as long. Why? Because we develop habits. Guys, when I keep telling you, when you grow up with poverty mindset or limited mindset or the mindset to be an evil, wicked person and do bad things all your life, or you're just doing good things all your life. When you get to about age 31, you've pretty much, you've been almost indoctrinated to how you're going to live the rest of your life because it's in you. We develop habits, okay? That's why it's so important. Whatever you see in the eye gate and the ear gate and all those things, and they get down inside of you over a period of time, up until the age of 31, it just becomes a part of you, okay? The reason your subconscious mind is 95% programmed by 31 is because of your habits and your beliefs, okay? So those things are, believe it or not, it's spiritual, not just physical. It becomes a part of you. It absorbs everything, right? You can accelerate. Now, here's what I recommend to do before we even get started, to reprogram your mind. And I saw this somewhere and it makes sense, okay? You can accelerate the process, okay, by using subliminal messages, okay? So that's like writing things down, looking at it daily, If you want to be a boxer, you need to write that somewhere so you can see it, all right? You want to be a successful investor, put it in front of you and look at it and say it to yourself over and over again. Affirmations, sometimes I was raised in the church right before I woke up to who I am, and I was taught to name it and claim it and believe it and receive it and all those. And there's some truth to it, but that's not the only thing. But affirmations are real. They're very real because it goes, when you speak it out there in the atmosphere, it becomes life to you because you heard it and it goes down inside of you. Your brain is like a computer, but more advanced than a computer, okay? Remember, the brain is what created the computer. So that's how much more advanced it really is. So, you have to absorb what you want for a long period of time over and over and over again to reprogram it. And let me say this again. If you're under the age of 31, you can do it within 22 to 66 days. If you're over that, some of you people who are out there, you're very stubborn, even my students, it's going to take you almost 4 months to reprogram your mind. 4 months, okay? Let me just give you a little story about myself, and then I'm going to give you some principles that you can apply tonight, next week, for the rest of your life to get your mind where it needs to be, back on track with the mindset you really want, okay? Me personally, I've been a mentor and a coach for about 4 years now. Okay, so I'm 46 right now, right? So I started my first business when I was 20. You guys been watching my podcast, you know my story, how, tried all these businesses, over 100, and fail. My first mentor named David Dietz in Fort Lauderdale, he was my first mentor. He took me to seminars and all that. I started trying going down the path of trying to learn how successful people think, how they walk and all that, and trying to understand it. I started the mind transformation system, I started on that mind transformation road 26 years ago. And I'm still learning. But even back then, I didn't have the discipline to transform this. So I would start something, stop, start something, stop, start, right? So here I am today. I'm discovering that there's so much my mind hasn't really comprehended yet because I haven't sat down long enough to digest it. I'm still trying to transform my subconscious mind today, just like you guys. So one of the things I did to challenge myself at 46 years old, we got global students, okay? Maybe 500 here in the US on platforms, like YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. And then those students came to me for personal coaching. But we have about, 70,000 worldwide that connect with us, right? And I find myself not having enough content, not being where I need to be to give them what they need. So I'm coming up short as a mentor and a coach. I'll be the first one to admit that. But if you are a student of mine, you better believe as your coach and mentor or as a leader in an authority in mind transformation, I'm going to do everything I can to get ahead and stay ahead. So one of the things that I've done is I started a new YouTube series. You guys probably saw my video the other day where I said I had one YouTube channel that wasn't doing what I wanted, so I started 3 more. So I have 4 YouTube channels posting 300 videos per month. But I'm working on me, so I had to start a series where I was going to challenge my mental dexterity. You guys hear me use that word a lot. Dexterity means hands, but I'm talking as a metaphor, moving, transforming my mind and trying to get my mind to grow and expand more So I started a series for you guys to give you 200 words. I picked 200 random words and gave definitions of them and talked about how they can be beneficial to you in your businesses or whatever you're trying to do to prosper and excel. But part two of that, I did it for me because my brain, my mind, my subconscious mind constantly needs more information. The brain is far more advanced than we actually can acknowledge. Okay? Your brain, it's so far advanced that we're still tapping into things that we don't know about. So we have to continue to push our limits, push it. So these 200 words are giving me more vocabulary. I found out that there's certain words that I want to say, but my brain, hasn't digested enough information to cough it up. My subconscious mind hasn't absorbed enough information just yet for me to be the speaker and the communicator that I want to be. So every day I give a definition of a word. You guys have been following. I'm at about word number 29 right now on YouTube. I think I left off with commitment, but I do all types of words. You know what I mean? Like one of my favorite words that I've done so far was the word appreciate. Okay, how to appreciate other people and how to honor and respect them. But there's so many words to learn. If I don't stay focused and push myself to speak it, say the definitions out loud, and reprogram my mind over a period of time, nothing sticks. So I'm 46. So that means for me, I need to be consistent for at least 4 to 5 months to fully transform what's down inside my subconscious mind, not my conscious mind. Everybody has a conscious mind. Everybody knows how to go out to the road and see a car coming and you stop, right? Or you know how to get in your car and drive and put on the brakes and put on the lights and back up. But the subconscious mind is running your life. Okay? I want you to understand that. It's when you go to sleep at night, a lot of times, your brain, your subconscious mind is still working. What are you listening to when you go to sleep at night? I'm going to highly recommend that you listen to, for me, I'm a man of faith, so I listen to the Bible a lot. I listen to the book of Proverbs because I want to understand more wisdom, the principles of the Most High, how to communicate and how to deal wisely in kingdom affairs on the earth, business affairs, and he teaches all that in Proverbs and other books in the Bible. And there's another book that I always recommend. I say it almost every time I do something like this. It's the book called Think and Grow Rich. Or you have to find books that feed your mind success principles. Okay? Teaches you how to have a definite plan of purpose. These are the things I keep preaching. A definite plan of action, purpose, action. How to develop right thinking, through limiting bad information going into your mind, bad information from people that don't want to see you succeed, bad information from, I'm going to get political for you guys, watching Fox News and CNN. It's a bunch of news, but how is that increasing your knowledge and understanding in the realm of prosperity, bettering your family, bettering yourself, creating wealth? It's not doing that. Is there good television out there? Sure it is. There's intelligent, but you got to watch what goes in your ear gate. And a lot of you don't do that. A lot of you let anything go in there, and it's costing you right now. Your mind is a sponge, okay? And your subconscious mind is the hardest part of that sponge to cleanse. A lot of you some of you grew up with hatred around you, misunderstanding, wicked people around you. I got to use that word wicked, doing things unjustly. You know what I mean? You come from families that are poverty-minded people, ignorant people, and that filtered off onto you. You got the residue of that. The residue of that went into your subconscious mind. So you're 35, 40, 50 years old, thinking you're okay, and you're trying to start a business over here. You've been working here for 15, 20 years. You're tired of that. It's not enough for your retirement. You don't know what you're going to do. But your mindset is so bad, you don't know how to start a company because you have bad thinking. And all these years of your life all this information's been downloaded inside of you, but it's wrong information. You can have a perfect business opportunity in front of you, but because you have so much bad thinking in your subconscious mind, you'll say no to $1 million opportunity right in front of you, right? On the surface, you really, really want to do it. There's a part of you that wants to do the thing, but because the subconscious mind is so damaged and unrepaired and not programmed for success, you wouldn't know a good opportunity if it hit you in the face. I'm speaking real with you because some of you, you're making excuses. It's everybody else's fault. Why you can't say 3 words or 3 sentences without swearing, or, in a business conversation. You're not responsible when you say, hey, I'm just not cutting the mustard. You won't admit that it's been your stinking thinking that got you there. Reprogramming the mind is one of the hardest things to do. I'm on that path myself. I had to start over 100 companies to start succeeding. Had I had right thinking 15, 20 years ago when my first mentor came along, you guys listen to the podcast, I blew an opportunity with him. This man is a white man, because all my mentors, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been mentored by all types of people, and some of the greatest mentors in my life have been white. Yes, I'm a black man. I've been mentored by white men and women. And it doesn't matter about who it comes through as long as you learn. But 20 years ago, when that man came to me, I wasn't ready for success. My mind was thinking about breakdancing, thinking about women. One millionaire said, chase money and women will chase you. You don't have to chase women, right? And of course, I finally got my life right many years later and met Arlene, and the rest is history. But he took me to business seminars. You guys, again, go watch my podcast. You hear what I'm saying now. Back then, it was a company, and it's still around. It's called Amway. That was the first time I saw business professionals in a conference talking. And, I was around some of the wealthiest in the world. I had a chance to see a guy named Ron Priere speak. Again, go watch the YouTube video. I have a YouTube video up about him. And he became one of the very most successful entrepreneurs in Amway. He was probably making, $100 million a year. Saw him speak on stage. Very humble guy. He just passed away in 2016. And he was teaching about transforming the mind. This is 26 years ago. I didn't understand it. I go on to say, if you watch that video, I talked about seeing a black man go on, because at that time in the 90s, you didn't see a lot of African-American men, businessmen, Hebrew men, in businesses like Amway, Melaleuca, and some of the other big ones at the time. All right. But I saw a black man get on the stage, and my friend, the mentor of mine, David, he said, Jimmy, there's a black man right there. He said, you don't see a lot of black men people here, but there's black people here doing really well. But they all have one thing in common that I think you need to do. You need to learn to grow your mind, grow your subconscious mind. You need to listen to, at the time they had tapes. They didn't have, all the stuff we have now online. They had books and tapes. He says, you need to get as many books and tapes and read and listen to this content when you're sleeping. This black man got on stage. His income was about $500,000 per month, right? He had been in this business about 15 years. And what I noticed about him, he kept harping on the subconscious mind. How to change it, how to transform it. What you need to do he said, the first thing you have to do is admit, this is what I'm going to tell you guys. Admit that you had bad teaching, bad training, bad upbringing. Not bad to the don't get this, don't twist this, guys. That's a metaphor. When I use the word bad, I mean misinformation, mistraining, the wrong type of training. Because there's a lot of hardworking families out there, mothers and fathers out there that just don't understand wealth and abundance and how it works. They did the best they could, but they taught you poverty. That's what I mean when I say that. And he said, you're going to have to change this before your pocketbook and your money, your wallet reflects what's up here. When you transform it, it can take years. I'm telling you, if you're over 33, 31, it's going to take about 4 months to change it if you're very dedicated. But it can take you 30 years if you're not dedicated, not committed. And he was happy. This black man was, he loved his wife. He loved his family. He spoke with conviction. And at 20 years old, I made up my mind then that I will be a successful entrepreneur one day. I didn't know it was going to take me 100 businesses. I didn't know that. in 20 something years. Okay. That part I didn't know, but I knew I wanted to be successful because when I saw him, I took all the excuses away. You know, because when you see people that don't look like you, you can think, well, that's them. What about us? That took all the excuses away. Am I saying there's no racism? I'm not saying that. There's racism. There's economic systems in place that are favorable to certain people. It's obvious. I'm one of these guys, I want to keep it 100 with you. But it's no excuse for us as a black people not to stand up and, again, change your thinking and possess the land. But you cannot possess the land if you don't have the mental capacity to get it down inside of you to believe that you can actually have it, and then strategize to get it. I'm not talking about doing anything illegal. I'm just saying take what's yours, and you can't take it if you haven't programmed the inside of you for the taking. No excuses. Okay? The mind is so complex that you put the wrong thing in there, it will lead you in the wrong direction without you even realizing you're going in the wrong direction. Because naturally, when you train yourself, you program yourself to believe something, naturally you think it's right. You think it's the way to go. But there's consequences of doing things the wrong way. You may live the rest of your life and say, this is bull crap, I don't believe it. But I'm telling you, if you don't change that part of you that you think's laying dormant, the most important part of you, it's controlling 95% of your decisions, you are not going to move forward. You're not going to progress. You're going to constantly be standing still or digressing. If you're not growing, you're digressing. And it all starts here. Don't underestimate the power of the subconscious mind, okay? Let's get into a few. I got about 13 here. Principles or things that you can do to start transforming your mind, all right? There's so much more I can talk about, but I think sometimes people get overloaded with the subconscious mind. For all my students, this is video number 11. Video number 12, I'm going to talk more about strategy and what you need to stay focused on, and the things you need to tap into, the activities to get back on the road of transforming the mind. All right? There are certain juices that flow. Go look this up. There are certain juices that flow at certain times of the day in your subconscious. I highly recommend when you first get up, that first 30 minutes, there's something going on with the subconscious mind where it receives more information. That's when you need to read the right book. Don't turn on Fox News or CNN and all those. That's going to put the wrong atmosphere in the wrong atmosphere. The wrong information is going to go in there, and you're going to miss out on your opportunity to grow. 30 minutes when you first wake up. And if you want to supercharge everything, this is something I do when I go to bed at night. As of late, I haven't been getting much sleep. I go to bed sometimes between 3 and 5 o'clock because I'm on a mission to do something, my wife and I. When I go to bed at night, I put on YouTube and I put on videos. Sometimes Think and Grow Rich. I listen to it for 10 hours. If I go to bed at 5, I try to get up between 10 and 11. I only get like 5 or 6 hours of sleep. When I get up, I listen to it for a couple hours while I'm up working, moving around. When I'm sleeping 8 to 10 hours, it's a 10-hour recording on YouTube, Think and Grow Riches. And I listen to the Bible too, the other ones. But while I'm asleep, all that information is going into my subconscious mind. I might be asleep, but it's being deposited in there. And again, when you first wake up, that's the best time to do it, even better than when you're sleeping. That's what they're saying according to the statistics. But make sure you take every opportunity that you got to put that good information in there, okay? Let's look at some of the things that you can do. Are you ready for this, guys? I don't want to bore you here. I know I'll give you a lot here, but I want to make sure you get enough, okay? I'm all about information. And then when you get the information, you need to apply it, okay? 1 sec here. All right, here we go. Number 1, you ready? Be willing to see unchangeable change. Be willing to see the unchangeable change. Okay, let me read this to you. The first step in creating massive change in your life is not actually believing that it's possible. It's being willing to see if it's possible. right? So what they're saying here is be realistic with yourself. Okay. Now, me being a strong person of faith, I naturally just believe the impossible, but everybody spiritually or mentally may not be that strong yet. You guys heard me say the other day, a lot of people are physically strong. They think they got it, but mentally they're weak. So you have to start where you start. Just start with a simple belief that maybe some things are possible. And as you build your faith, you build it through repetitious hearing of certain things to bring certain things you want. Then your faith will get stronger to believe that you can change. All right. Number 2, give yourself permission to be successful. If you grew up in a bad environment, when I say, again, that word bad, I'm using it as, I'm using it in a very harsh way, but I'm being factual. Bad information is bad information. If it's not conducive to where you want to be, and if it's not truth in your life, then it's bad. It's not good. Give yourself permission to succeed, because you've always given yourself permission to fail, because most of your expectations, because of the subconscious mind, has been programmed to fail, lose, quit. This is a bad job. I'll never get the job I want. You've been programmed for that. So what's going to manifest? You are what you think all day long. The Bible says it this way: whatsoever a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Give yourself permission. The Most High wants you to prosper, but you have to believe that you can. You have to live by his kingdom principles to do so. I don't even care if you're not a believer, but there's certain principles in the earth realm, whether you believe them or not, still apply. This is a law of words. When you speak things, they are. Those words become things, and they have authority when you speak them. Even when other people speak them to you, they go inside your mind. That's why when people are speaking crazy things, and watch that television, not the television, the television. Don't watch too much of that stuff, because most of it's an illusion. Most of it's crazy. Most of it's false. I know you don't want to hear that. There are some truth things that are truth on television, but you have to have the right discernment to understand what is and what's not. But the best thing is don't listen to a bunch of it. Find out what you want by confessing what you want out of your mouth. You got to first of all say, I give myself permission. I give myself permission. Tell your subconscious mind that. I give myself permission to succeed. Right? Number 3, don't allow other people's fears to cast shadows of doubt. A lot of you haven't understood how to let other people go. I said that again. I was talking all these things. A lot of the stuff I'm saying now, I was discussing in a very intense video about letting go of people, places, and things. And you love your family, but love them from a distance, because if they're going to speak negatively over you and into your life and around you all the time, fear comes by hearing, just like I said faith does, right? You hear negative things, you hear bad things, you watch scary movies, you watch certain things that bring fear into your spirit, into your heart. You try to figure out why you're afraid all the time. Well, you're getting the manifestation of what you're speaking. They go hand in hand. You're going to mirror what you're listening to. It's going to bounce back and hit you in the face. Okay? Number 4, surround yourself with positive people, positive reinforcement. If you don't have any friends that speak faith and believe in the best of things, the best of you, what you can be, and they're not talking, hey, we can do this, we can do all things. If you're a believer, all things through Christ, or Yahushua HaMashiach, who strengthens us, all things through him. So there's work to do on our part. We do it through him, right? If you're not a believer, you got to get around positive people still. Because you can't do something that you don't fully believe in. You can't manifest something that you don't fully have the conviction of. Let's go back to Think and Grow Rich. It says, whatsoever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So it has to conceive it first. Just like a woman, when she conceives seed, she can't have the baby until she conceives. She can wish and want all day long, right? Unless she conceives first, there's no such thing as her having a pregnancy and then in 9 months delivering the ultimate gift, which is the gift of life of a baby. She has to conceive it first. You can't have that multi-million-dollar business. You can have that husband, or wife, or dream house, until you can conceive it inside of your mind and your spirit and believe and catch hold of it. And that takes place in the subconscious mind. Like it or not, that's the way it works. Trust me, I'm 46 and I'm just getting started. Just getting started. So to all my students, you're never too old to learn. You're never too old to achieve. You're never too old to have greatness. Number 5, speak your success as a present fact, not a future plan. What are you doing? Because again, you're reprogramming a false narrative about yourself. You're always telling yourself, you don't realize you do it. You're doing it subconsciously. I can't have that. I can't be that. They won't let me. And so you believe that, so it becomes a part of you. So what do? You gotta scratch it. That's garbage. You gotta reinforce it by going back saying, I can't have it. Not only can I have it, I have it right now. I have it now. I'm going to manifest it in the now, not the future. For all you believers, I'm going to talk to y'all again. Hebrews chapter 11, all the way down to verse 6. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. It's the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. Faith is evidence. I might be hoping for it, but I'm so sure of it. It's evident in my life that even though I don't see it, I believe it's here, and I'm going to speak it until I see what I say. But I'm not trying to get it. I already got it. Faith is not trying to get something. It's I already got it. You got to show up. You have to be in control of your subconscious mind. You have to tell it what you want. Make demands. And don't come out of agreement with your confession until you see it manifest. Tell your subconscious mind what to do. Don't let it tell you what to do. Because if you don't, it's going to rule your life for the rest of your life. Number 6, create a vision space. This is something that my wife and I applied a long time ago. We used to draw vision boards. And I remember before I woke up, I'm getting a little spiritual now. I didn't want to really, I always believed I was going to have this big mega church and preach to 10,000 people. So I drew a big church and I drew, a private jet and all that stuff, right? Believe the impossible, because we were dead broke. We didn't have anything. And we were gonna, in our mind, in our spirit, we felt like we were going to start companies to build, and pay for things ourselves. We didn't want to go asking for no offering. And we believed the Most High was going to do that for us. But along the way, we realized that wasn't the vision that He had for us. And it wasn't something we really desired. So what do? We tore down that vision board. We tore it down. Because vision, when you create a vision board, it is a part of you. Basically, when you draw on it, you can see yourself in Malibu. You see yourself, in New York City. You see yourself in Jamaica, on the beach, living the life. You see yourself in that private jet. You see yourself with this Fortune 500 company. You see yourself, buying an NFL team, You see it and you start believing it because it's right there in front of you. So vision is very important. So here's the warning I'll give you. Make sure you pray about the vision for your life, not some fantasies, not something you want because you see someone else with it. There's a definite plan of purpose for your life. You got to find out what it is. Find out what the Creator called you to do. Write it down. Write the vision. Make it plain. Habakkuk chapter 2 for the believer. Hebrews. Make it plain. The vision may tarry, but it's going to come. When you write things down, again, it's a reinforcer. When you draw images, it reinforces the subconscious mind. I'm pointing at the back because I'm trying to get you guys to see this is where the brain, it's a physical thing, but it's spiritual. I point here for the brain, right? Or the mind, the brain. But the subconscious mind is somewhere else. It's deep down within there. So I'm pointing back here as a metaphor, as a sign that I'm talking a little bit deeper than what's on the surface. Number 7, I'm wrapping up here. Identify your resistance. Identify the haters. Identify the biggest enemy you're going to have, listen to me, is you. They ain't the Facebook trolls, the YouTube trolls, And I'm going to say something that's going to hurt a lot of people. If you are a YouTube troll, internet troll, social media troll, and you're an adult, because I can see if you're 15, but if you're an adult and you go out of your way to troll people who are successful, people that have a difference of opinion, people that don't see things the way you do, people that are doing big things and you're doing nothing, you act like a child. And you're not going to grow. The only person you're hurting most is you. Okay? So on the bad side of things, if you're a troll, how are you going to have what I'm talking about here? You got to take a look in the mirror and stop wasting all that energy trying to put someone else down for being a better man or a better woman are trying to do something positive online or offline or in the earth realm, and you're just criticizing and complaining. You know, if you saw him face to face, you wouldn't talk to him that way, so why do it online? Mike Tyson said something powerful. He said, the internet has made it very easy for cowards and weak people to get on and criticize you and not have to worry about getting punched in the face. Makes perfect sense. So don't do it. But on the other side, if you are the person that's the creative person, the entrepreneur, the visionary, the one that Yah has called to do something great in the earth realm, and you're having trouble transforming your mind, block out all the haters, identify who they are, block them from your platform, stay away from them. Don't retaliate, don't argue back and forth. All they're doing when they get on a post and be disrespectful, they just pull you down to them with their small thinking, crab in the barrel mentality. They're not doing anything positive, because if they did, why would they be on your post? Why would they take time to mess with you? Identify them. Identify the wrong people on your job that you shouldn't be hanging out with. Family members you got to back up from. Identify them and just do what you got to do to stay away from them. But again, the biggest person that's going to hurt and you have to conquer, it's you for subconscious mind, for your subconscious mind. You got to discipline yourself. Number 8. I like this one. Have a master plan for your life. All these things I talk about in the series and I got so many videos on, having a plan of action. That's the master plan. Writing it down. You have to figure out what it is that makes you get up in the morning. Something you would do whether you got paid for it or not. That's the thing that you're called to do. You build your plan of action around that, your master plan, your vision plan. Easy stuff, guys. Number 9, start a gratitude journal. I love this. Be thankful for things. Write it down. Make notes of, the things that you're thankful for. Things that that they're small. It may be small in number or in size or the effectiveness of what it did to your life. But every victory, whether big or small, is a victory. It's a moral victory. It's a mental victory. When you do that, when you make a journal and you write it down, it's going to reinforce positive energy coming to you. There's energy out there, negative energy you want to run from, but it reinforces positive energy. You need energy every day. It's going to reinforce something inside of you to stay positive. You need energy, but you need the right energy. And when you're grateful and you're thankful to the Most High, you're thankful for the people He put in your life, you're thankful to people for helping you, for mentors. I've had over 30 mentors in my life. I thank the Most High every day for all of them. I thank them every time I get a chance. One of them's past it was my grandfather, Reuben Williams, one of the greatest, probably, he was my first mentor. My father mentored me too, but my grandfather was the master mentor. And I thank the Most High for him every day. Gratitude for what he poured in. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be an entrepreneur. But seeing a black man in the 50s and 60s, do what he did, and he was one of the only black men. Listen, this is in the 60s in Jim Crow South. Had his own property. I got to say this because when you talk gratitude, you got to think of something tangible that the people can relate to. Black man had 17 children. Loved his wife. Entrepreneur, farmer, preacher, businessman, master builder. He could put down pumps in the ground, bring running water into the family's houses. He did this for black families and white families. He charged about $3,000, $3,000 back in the day to go to your house. He built a machine. Wow. This machine would go down. He built it out of he was a blacksmith as well. Second grade education, he could weld things together. He welded together this machine. It was like 15 feet in the air. He built it, put engines on it and everything. And it was so powerful it would go down to the ground. I'm talking 100 feet and find running water in the ground. It would drive past rocks and stones and all that and dig till he found running streams of water. He said, son, you got to go down about almost 100 feet, sometimes 120 feet to find running streams under the ground. Guys, there's running water down there. He would find it and pull that water up. He was one of the first and only black men in his area with his property that built his own house from scratch and had running water in the home, where the bathroom had running water in it and the kitchen had, everything had running water. Because in those days, on the other side of my family, on my dad's side, he grew up without running water in the home. On my dad's side. My mom's side, my grandfather had running water. That was the patriarch. That was the guy who was my mentor. But extreme poverty, man. And you look at him, you go, wow, powerful. Had respect. He was a great cook. He could cook like a chef, had his own restaurants. He had his own juke joints. Before he found the Most High, he was a partying guy. He had his own property, and he would go out, and build these little juke joints, these nightclubs, build them from the ground up, build houses for people. I mean, there was nothing this man could not do. And the life he lived was so powerful. So I was so full of gratitude. That inspired me to be an entrepreneur and have my own. Racist people tried to shut him down, tried to steal some of his land. And they were successful with stealing a small portion of the land through injustice in the small town down south where I grew up. It's called Lake Butler. He said, grandson, I own that property across the street. They took that. And he still had about 100 acres on the other side. And he cultivated that land. He was a great farmer. He'd have me get out there in the field sometimes. Me and my siblings and my cousins, we would go out there and pick, we would pick the corn and, collard greens and the sugar cane and all of that. And, the watermelons and all that. But we always had harvest. He had a little farm where he had, chickens and all of that. So we didn't have to go to the store and get eggs because there were eggs there. But what I'm saying is all those things. Now, when you have a good mentor, when you see them do great things, it plays a role in what goes into your subconscious mind because you're seeing something powerful right there in front of you. Mentors, real leaders that are mentors, lead by example. They don't just tell you to do something. Guys, I would never tell you to do something that I don't do, but this man really touched me. Gratitude. And I said, Father in heaven, I didn't know the Most High. I saw him pray to the Most High all the time, but I said, wherever God he knows, I want to know that God. I want that lifestyle. He wasn't rich in today's sense, like a huge house. He had a big house he built his own church, built his own house, but he lived free. Nobody could tell him what to do. Okay? And also he was a good hunter too. He knew how to go out and, find food if necessary. But I'm grateful for that, and that gratitude got me where I am today. So that's one of the ways to be grateful. Find people around you that inspire you. You may not get Tony Robbins or Les Brown or Eric Thomas. Those are the guys I listen to. Jim Rohn, he's been deceased for a minute. But there's somebody local near you that can mentor you and help you, and that's a good way to operate in gratitude. Help them, help you, and you guys work together, he or she. All right. Number 10, there's more, but I'm going to wrap up now. Number 10. Start asking for what you want. Even if you know you'll be denied. Start asking for what you want, even though you know you'll be denied. 100 plus businesses, guys. I stopped counting when I got to about 107, 108. Yes, me. I personally tried 100 businesses, okay? A lot of them happened many years ago before I met my wife. I had a previous marriage, and I was working several jobs and starting several businesses that all failed. Going all the way back to when I was 20, okay? Business after business, company after company, opportunity after opportunity, fail. But I kept on being denied. It wasn't necessarily the opportunity. It was something to do with me. Something upstairs wasn't clicking, right? I keep pointing to the back of my head so you guys get the point. My subconscious mind wasn't ready for success. And the more I transformed and changed the way I was thinking and tried to figure out how am I going to help other people, that's when it really happened for me. But I kept asking. No. I mean, I would start something, but it would go up in flames. Last year, my business and my wife and I started our business, some other businesses. We have about 8, and 50% of them got funded. The other 50% did not. Because when you're making money, there's ways to get additional funds for your business, even if it's a startup. If it's you just getting started, you're not making much. But we tried probably 85 to 90 other companies. We tried get finance here, over there, up, down it. No, yes. No, yes. No, yes. no, 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 then yes. That's how success works. You got to train your mind and say, I don't care what happens, I'm not going to quit until I see what's in my mind. But in order to get the right things in your mind, you have to reprogram it. And there's 3 more points here, but I'm going to stop right there to get you guys to listen. Listen to me carefully. Let me recap here. When you first wake up in the morning, feed your mind information that is conducive to the vision that you have in your heart. When you lay down at night, reinforce your mind again by putting on content, put on your earphones that's conducive to where you want to be, to what's on your vision board, what's in your heart, what you know you need to accomplish by the end of 2021, going into 2022. Take it very seriously. Your subconscious mind is nothing to play with. It rules your life. The cops don't rule your life. This system doesn't rule your life. Yeah, they can take you to jail unjustly, and they can do all these things, and people can treat you bad and, and disrespect you and all those things, but they can't. But see, the biggest person you have to control is you. You can't control the outside forces. You can control what goes on inside. So you need to focus on transforming you and disciplining you. Focus on what you can control and stay away from what you can't. You can't afford another day. When you hear this, you need to act on it immediately. Students, don't take this lightly. This is one of the best things that I can tell you to do, because it's going to rule everything else you've learned. You guys learned how to become a YouTube millionaire. I taught that in the class. How to make $1 million, $1 million as a YouTube influencer per post. I taught you the secrets of Twitter. I taught you how to take Facebook and build a huge following. Okay, and build your net worth and be a global and local brand. All right. I taught you guys about tech stocks. You guys saw me talk about my own tech stocks. I bought, a few $1,000s worth of them last year, 40 companies I invested in. You saw me do that. You saw me go in and show you my accounts. You guys saw my cryptocurrency account, how I went and bought, I invested in like 45 tech companies, cryptocurrency companies. You saw what I did with that and how I made money with that. And I taught you the real estate secrets. Okay, what's going on with the market today, what to get into, what to stay away from. I talked about business funding and all that. But none of that is important as important, as transforming the mind to reintroduce right thinking to the subconscious mind. It's way down here in comparison. You can't compare it. Again, the Bible says, so as a man thinks in his heart or in his mind, right? So is he or she. It goes on to say there's life and death in the power of the tongue. So as you think a thing, you're going to speak it out of your mouth, and so be it. Words have authority. Thoughts don't. You can think a certain thing, but nothing really happens until you speak it out of your mind, because the mind, once it coughs up what you're thinking out of your mind, it comes out of your mouth. When you say it, it goes back into you again. So words have authority. That's why you have to be careful what you say. If you think you can, you will. If you think in your heart maybe, then maybe. If you don't think you will, you won't. Don't wait on luck. The people you see successful today, they didn't stumble on that by luck. People who are born into success is different. We're blessed to be born with a wealthy mother or father and all that stuff, right? And you don't want to be mad at them because, trust me, when my wife and I decided to have a baby, we're going to leave an inheritance for them. And that's the right thing to do. But we're going to teach them the power of growing up and working for something. But don't be jealous of other people, what they have. You need to focus on you. Focus on changing you. Some of you are visionaries. You are ordained by the Most High to change this world. But if you don't change that mind, you ain't changing nothing. Some of you are going to have the next Fortune 500 company, something bigger and better than Facebook. But you better change your mind first. Some of you guys, a lot of you, my students, you're overseas in Europe, and a lot of you are in certain parts of Africa. And I have quite a bit of you, that are in Canada and South America. Principle's the same. Change this. You can change the world for the better. If you change it for the wrong reasons, you can change your mind and do the bad thing. You can reintroduce bad things to your mind and bring destruction. You have a lot of that today. Just look at 5 minutes of the news, all the hate and destruction. Those people have transformed their mind by listening to hate, speaking hate, being involved with hate, and it got down inside of them, and they're reproducing their own kind. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being productive and reproducing positive things with positive energy. The subconscious mind is a terrible thing to waste. On that note, see you guys at the top, because we're going to do what? We're going to get there together. Students, I'll see you on video number 12, and I'm going to post this publicly. I'm going to edit and post it to everyone. I hope this was great for your mental and spiritual edification. Take care. Bye.